I got a new camcorder.
Hey there folks, I am of course RiggerM71 and welcome to another video. This particular installment is my review of the Canon VIXIA HF R700 camcorder. Damn, that's a lot to say. Let's just call it the R700 from now on. The reason I bought the R700 was mainly to have another camera for making YouTube videos. The Logitech C920 webcam I've been using works great, but it pretty much tethers me to the computer. With the R700 I can go wherever I want and record whatever I want. There are several reasons why I chose a camcorder over a more traditional camera, but I'll get into all that later on. There are 3 models in the VIXIA line, with the R700 being the entry model. There's also an R70 as well as an R72. From what I've gathered, the main differences are the fact that the R70 and R72 have support for Wi-Fi and NFC. They also have a specific amount of internal memory in addition to an SD card slot. The R700 lacks the Wi-Fi and NFC as well as the internal memory, but aside from that it's pretty much the same camcorder and currently at a much lower price. First, let's take a look at what you get in the box. The first thing you'll see is a package containing the warranty card as well as a brief startup guide, and I do mean brief. If you want the full manual, you'll have to download the PDF from Canon's website. Then there's the battery charger, which plugs into your basic wall outlet. A USB cable for transferring files to your PC or Mac, an HDMI cable, and of course the camera itself. Duh. You'll also get the battery, which you'll need to attach to the camcorder. Again, duh. The first thing I noticed about the R700 was how unbelievably small the damn thing actually was. I mean, I knew camcorders had shrunk in the last 20 years, but I wasn't expecting quite this level of smallness. To give you some idea of where I'm coming from, here's a shot of a full-size VHS camcorder I picked up around 1992, sitting next to the R700. They don't even look like the same thing. Heck, the battery for the VHS is roughly the same size as the R700. Anyway. Now that I've got that off my chest, let's take a look at some of the features. First off, the camera is advertised as having a 57 times advanced zoom. While technically true, the actual optical zoom only extends to 32 times. I assume it kicks into digital once you reach that point. Regardless, it seems to work pretty well. It also has a flip-around screen that can be positioned just about anywhere you need it to be. This feature is great for vlog-style videos and was a big selling point for me. It's also a capacitive touchscreen, so you don't need to screw around with any side buttons just to navigate the menu. It records up to 1920 by 1080 at 60p in either AVC HD or MP4 file formats, so you can pick which one works better for you. You can make your own judgment with regard to the image quality, but it looks just fine for my purposes and actually exceeded my expectations. The R700 also features optical and electronic image stabilization. I haven't tried running with it on because I'm old and lazy, but walking normally appears to be pretty smooth. In addition to video, it does have a still photo function. However, pictures will be limited to the 1920 by 1080 resolution. I have an old Kodak camera from 2007 that takes larger photos than that, so I'll probably just stick with it for taking pictures. Looking at the side panel, you'll notice you get both a 3.5mm headphone jack as well as a microphone jack. The mic jack was another huge selling point for me since a lot of cameras and camcorders don't include one. Many cameras are notorious for having awful built-in microphones, so I wanted the option of using something else in case it was unusable. There isn't a cold shoe mount or anything on top of the camcorder. However, you can always use handheld or lavalier mics. There are also various third-party adapters you can screw in from the bottom that add mounts for shotgun mics, lights, or whatever. The R700 does have the standard screw mount on the bottom, traditionally used for tripods.
As for the onboard audio, this is it. I haven't used it that much yet, but it appears to be fairly reasonable, or at least when you're directly in front of the camera, like I am now.
Compare it to this footage from my Logitech webcam and the blue Snowball Ice microphone that I normally use. I think the Snowball is probably the winner here, but the R700 isn't terrible. Still, I may end up getting an external mic at some point in the future. Now let's talk about storage. The R700 doesn't have anything, so you'll have to get some type of SD card. I've seen some mention that they experienced occasional hitching or freezing video when using older, slower cards, so I'd recommend getting the fastest SDHC or SDXC card you can reasonably afford. I'd even sacrifice space over speed, just to keep from having the issue. Maybe it isn't that big of a thing, but it sounded like the type of thing I wanted to avoid. So far, I haven't had a problem. There was one thing I did have a problem with, and that was connecting the R700 to my computer in order to transfer files. No matter how many times I plugged it into the USB port, I couldn't get my PC to recognize it. It wasn't until I found a post on a forum that I realized you have to press the little play button on the side panel to open the library and make it so the computer will recognize it as a USB drive. So a big thank you goes to Random Internet Guy. It would have been nice if Canon had made the process a bit clearer, but oh well. At least it works now. The R700 has many other features, but I think I've covered most of the things that mattered to me. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the purchase. If you feel like I missed something you are interested in, you can always view the R700 specs on Canon's website or any other online retailer that sells Canon equipment. That being said, I hope this was at least somewhat informative. If it was, you are certainly welcome to hit the like button or even subscribe to yours truly. You can also leave a comment below if you have a question or comment concerning this review. So until next we meet, take care, and of course, have fun.